Hello and welcome to Disney Travel Tales, a podcast that allows you to immerse yourself in someone's recent Disney trip. I'm Jenny, and I'm so happy to be here with you talking about my favorite thing, Disney trips. Join us every Friday as we explore the parks or cruise ships with a new guest and learn inside tips and tricks to hopefully help make your vacation go a little smoother. Make sure to subscribe to the show wherever you are listening so you never miss a new episode, and I would love it if you left a positive review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. This is the easiest way to support the podcast. Another way to support the podcast is to use me as your travel agent at no cost to you. Email me at jenny@trolleylanetravel.com. Let me do all the hard planning while you sit back and count down the days to your vacation. Okay, so let's get going with today's show. Hello and welcome. You are listening to episode number 94, and I am here with Mercedes, and she is going to share with us all about her pretty amazing trip where y'all just did all kinds of great fun stuff. So why don't we start off the show and you tell me who you traveled with and a little bit about yourself and Disney vacations.
Okay, so hi, my name is Mercedes, and I grew up on the West Coast, so we would sometimes do Disneyland, back in the 80s, and then I went to college out pretty close to Disneyland, so I went a few times then, and then life happened. Went a long time without doing anything Disney. I'm now in Colorado, and around 2019, we started going to Universal because of Harry Potter. My kids read all the books, and we said, well, you read the books, we'll do Harry Potter. And then 2019, 2020 were supposed to be my big travel years.
Yep.
So we stayed with Universal for a while because we knew it, we loved it. And then I started adding Disney World finally, after waiting a few decades to go to Disney World. And so my youngest son and I have three sons. My youngest is 11. His name's Leo. He's my little travel buddy. We love doing Orlando. And he's really into animals, especially ocean animals. He's one of those kids that knows all the facts about marine animals and, did you know this and did you know that? And we've done snorkeling a couple times. I have. And we took them to Mexico once. And I had heard about Discovery Cove, which is in Orlando. I kept hearing how great it is, how wonderful. The only problem is when you're at Disney World or Universal Orlando, there's just so much to do that you just can never get to the other places, right? You did.
Yes, very much so.
You know how it is, right?
Yeah.
Time just flies by. You're like, I can't buy another ticket and put some more days on top of a Disney World or Universal trip. So I decided to just stop putting it off. And I was going to dedicate a trip to doing Discovery Cove finally. So that's what this was. A 3-night trip, 1 free day, and then a day devoted to Discovery Cove.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk about Discovery Cove. I've never had a guest come on that talked about it, and I have clients all the time ask about it. So this,
oh really?
I'm really looking forward to this episode. This is going to be so fun.
Yeah, and I'll just, right off the bat, totally worth it. Okay.
Well, that is so great to hear. So let's start off with, what were your travel dates?
Okay, so we traveled September 28th, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure was the 1-year anniversary of the hurricane last year.
I think it was.
Yeah, so I was a little nervous, but I decided to go for it. That might also be why I got a good deal on the tickets. It's possible, people might have said, well, there was a hurricane last year, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got our Discovery Cove tickets for a good price, and I suspect that was the reason. That's just my guess.
Mm-hmm.
So September 28th, we flew out, and we flew home October 1st, which was just like a day and a half ago. I've only been back for 36 hours or
That's
something.
so awesome. So you're still on that like vacation high.
Yes,
Yeah. It's the best feeling.
Yeah.
Where did y'all stay?
Okay, so we stayed at the Marriott Village, specifically the Fairfield Inn and Suites. So Marriott Village is a community. They call it a village. It's really a grouping. It's 3 hotels put together, all by Marriott. The Fairfield, the Courtyard, and the Spring Hill Suites. And their front doors all, kind of face in, and there's a pretty fountain in the middle.
Oh, nice.
And then they share amenities. Like you can go use the pools of the other ones. You can go to the little restaurants. There's like a frozen yogurt bar. There's a playground. And they share a bus, like a shuttle bus. We did not use the bus. I can go into that in detail.
Okay.
So it was very reasonably priced. I just want to say that up front, very good price. I paid $89 for one night, $93 for another, $101 for another. So
wow.
very low price.
Yeah,
to be
that's
honest.
a great price.
Yeah. They also charged a $10 nightly resort fee. It came with free breakfast, like a breakfast buffet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, they tell you about the resort fee and they immediately say, now because of the $10 resort fee, we give you $10 in credit a day on snacks. So they had like these little, you could either go spend it on food or whatever, or you could spend it in their little overpriced snack store.
Yeah.
Like $5 chips, $5 candy. But that was fun. We thought it was really fun to go, buy chips and stuff.
Yeah, that's actually really nice for them to do that because the resorts do have to charge these fees. I think it's like an Orlando thing. And so, that they're kind of giving it back to you. That's
it just
awesome.
it makes you happy about paying the $10 fee.
Yeah, for sure.
It was fun. It was fun. So my first impressions on the hotel, right away, it was very nice. Nice and clean. It had a gate on one side. I guess you could have got in the other, but there was a gate where you had to like pull up and the gate would open. Mm-hmm. So it had that kind of gated feel. Very good price. A standard hotel room, had a microwave and fridge. The microwave was, you don't always see that, so that was nice.
Yeah.
Had a coffee maker with supplies. We had a pool view, and it was nice. A nice, pleasing, common, standard room, but nice and clean overall. The sink was separate from the toilet and shower, but the counter space was kind of small. I was kind of battling the counter space the whole time, but it was just the 2 of us. I think if you had a lot of people doing makeup and hair, you might have to figure something else out, but it was okay for us. I had a little problem of the dresser drawers coming open all the time, so we had to put a backpack or a chair up against it to keep it closed.
That's interesting.
But I didn't want to complain because this was the most exciting part. We were literally next door to the laundry room, which was so exciting for me. I'm one of those people that likes to get the laundry done like all the time.
Yeah.
I don't like to see a pile of dirty laundry or anything like that. And so I'm always requesting to be next door to the laundry, and I'm never even on the same floor. I always have to like put everything in a suitcase, go down the elevator, go down the hall, or once we were at the Swan Reserve, I had to go across the street to go do laundry. So to be next door to the laundry room was so exciting. Even my son was like, "You're so happy we're next to the laundry."
That's funny. Hey, kids know what mom's like, right?
I know. Anyway, so they had a really, a nice pool. It wasn't square. It kind of had like a shape to it. That was nice. Big tile area and a little splash pad for the kids. It was simple, but I could see how like little toddlers would get really excited. Mm-hmm. The water in the bathroom and the drinking fountains had that sulfur taste, which meant we kind of had to keep an eye out for fresh, like good water to drink. Mm-hmm. The lobby downstairs had a thing with orange, water with oranges floating in it. Although sometimes it was empty or it wasn't there. But overall, we would, like when we came back, or we're going upstairs, we would get cups of water to take upstairs with us.
Mm-hmm.
And the shuttle to the parks, it didn't work out for me at all. It was one of those things where you had to book ahead of time, and in the morning they only had a couple rides. So you had to plan ahead. Like in the morning, I'm going to Epcot, and I'm going to come back home from Epcot at this time.
Oh,
and
that's hard.
I know. So you would really have to surrender yourself to that schedule and book ahead. And one night, I thought maybe we could use it to come back from Disney Springs, but you had to first go to Disney Springs at 5:00. And I was like, well, I don't think I'm going to be at the hotel at 5:00 to go to Disney Springs and then come back. And, it's just one of those things. And right away, I was like, oh, this isn't going to work. So we just used it. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of those shuttles, so I gave up on it quickly.
Yeah, I wish they would make them easier for guests staying there, because a lot of times guests do want an off-site hotel, especially if they're doing multiple parks and stuff in the area. Mm-hmm. But then if the transportation isn't really reliable, it's kind of hard.
And you would really, if you were up for that, planning your whole day ahead of time, maybe even the day before, exactly where you're going to be. And and I knew we were going to be hopping around. So
yeah.
I'm also I'm not really one of those people that I think I get a little stressed out trying to catch that bus. So I don't want to commit to it. So
I totally understand.
But it is there.
Yeah. If you're a super planner, it's there. So yeah, what did y'all do on your arrival day?
So our arrival day, this is interesting. We used standby for the first time. I'd never done standby for our flights. Mm-hmm. So we actually came in a little earlier than we planned. We got in and we landed at 7:37. It was cloudy and rainy. And we picked up Chipotle pizza at the airport to bring to the hotel for dinner so that we wouldn't have to deal with that later. And we took a Lyft. It was about $35 from the airport to the Marriott Village. Also, I have Lyft Pink, so some of the prices are a little lower for me because of the pink. So $35 from the airport to the hotel. It was a quick check-in, about 10 minutes, and then we just settled in, unpacked, relaxed, and got ready for bed. It started raining pretty heavily, but it was cleared up by morning, so that was all right. So not much that first day.
Yeah, just kind of getting settled. That's actually a great idea, to get food at the airport and take it back to your room. I might have to copy that.
Yeah, I got one of those Chipotle burritos. Just took it with us.
That's so smart, because the food is just so convenient right there.
Yeah. And the pizza was really good, by the way. That villa in, it was good.
Good to know. All right, so what did y'all do on your first full day?
Okay, so our first full day was the 29th. We slept in a little bit till around 8 o'clock, and then we went downstairs to the free breakfast downstairs. It was pretty fun. It was nice. Big open dining room with lots of seating, kind of that big cafeteria buffet feel. Mm-hmm. They had a bread station and a Mickey waffle station. That was cute. They had 3 of those Mickey irons for you to make waffles. The guy next to me, he didn't oil his iron, or at least the top of the iron, and his thing got totally stuck in there. He had to scrape. I felt bad for him to scrape it out, destroy them.
Yeah, it didn't look like Mickey.
So put a lot of oil. If you ever do that, there's a spray, you spray it all over. I felt bad for him. Then they had a juice, milk, coffee, tea. They had good water in those little water fountains there. They had cereals in those big dispensers where you turn the knob. They had hot oatmeal. And then on the other side, they had yogurt, butter, and cream cheese, and all that. Then they had an egg section, and they had 3 things, usually eggs. And then one day they had potatoes, another it was biscuit. And then they had some sort of meat. We're vegetarian, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. So I got scrambled eggs and potatoes. And then they had a little section with ketchup, salsa, cheese to dress up your eggs and all that. So after breakfast, Leo wanted to see like what the deal was with this Marriott Village. What did they mean by village? And it kind of turned out to just be a playground. I think everything was inside, so if you wanted to go see what was offered, you had to go inside each of the hotels. But it was just like a kind of an open area with a playground for kids.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah, it was cute. He ran around it, and I went and looked in a little gift shop. Let's see. We went to look for the shuttle, and it turned out it was one of those pre-book things, so that was kind of disappointing. So we decided at 10 a.m. To get a lift over to the Riviera Resort. That was a 10-minute ride plus tip. $10. Sorry, $10 ride plus tip. Okay. I did something naughty. So we get to the Riviera with the intention of going to get like coffee and croissants. They have a really good cafe there, French cafe. We go in, and right away I'm like, oh, there's this gift shop. I've never been in a gift shop. And it took me about 5 minutes to buy myself a necklace. Here, I'm wearing. It's an Ursula villain necklace.
Yes.
From Pandora.
So cute.
It's a black fake pearl, kind of black with purple accents, and it has the octopus tentacles of Ursula.
That's so
cute.
It
took me about 5 minutes to buy that.
Hey, if you know what you want, you got to get it.
I know. And the workers there, they helped me. They helped me buy it.
Absolutely.
Anyway, that was pretty exciting. So after that, we went into the Le Petit Café. They have the best coffee, by the way. If you're ever looking for really great coffee at Disney World, go there. The Riviera Resort, Le Petit Café. Fantastic coffee. And they make their own almond milk, whipped cream, and delicious. I've been thinking about it all this time since we were last there, and I really wanted to go back. And they have excellent pastries like brownies, this really good banana cake, little madeleines. I think they even have like chocolate croissants, but we haven't gotten those. So we went and got that. And then we took it next door to the cafe is this beautiful library. It's like a library kind of museum thing, gorgeous. Dark wood panels, cushioned chairs, really nice and dark. And they have these little display cases behind glass with, Disney artifacts. Very beautiful. So we went in there, sat, and I texted with my family. And then I took some photos of the museum pieces, and it was really cool. So in the library, they have these glass cases, and for example, there's a stuffed Mickey, and what I suspect is one of Walt's hats, those classic hats that he wore, with fedora hat. So they had a stuffed Mickey, and a hat, and then right outside the library, they have this hallway full of photographs of Walt Disney and his wife and all their travels along the Riviera. In one of the photographs, Walt and his wife are posing with a stuffed Mickey. And then you look back into the library, and there's that Mickey.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's so sweet. And I was showing my son, really, that's it? And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah. Anyway, that's really beautiful.
So sweet. I need to go check that out. I love that resort.
Oh, yes, it's beautiful. Anyways, I was taking photos of, they have these really cool photos of Walt posing. It's so handsome.
Yeah.
So I was taking pictures of the pictures. Yeah. And they were having this little thing. They have a little Pascal, Pascal from Tangled. They hide him around the resort, and if you find him, you can go to the kids section and get a pin. So we started looking for him, never found him. But anyway, while we were looking for him, I got sidetracked, and I started talking to one of the DVC guys, the Disney Vacation Club representatives.
Mm-hmm.
And I already get their emails. I think I signed up for them a couple of years ago, just out of curiosity. So we started talking, and I had heard that you could go tour the rooms. So we ended up doing that, kind of an impulse, but I wanted to see what it looked like anyway. So they took us on a tour of those suites in the Riviera. One was a 2-bedroom suite. Another was, I think, a regular suite. And then they took us into one of those little tower suites. It's this miniature room. It's just like imagine a living room and a bathroom, and then they have a Murphy bed that comes down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's their cheapest room. But it's kind of cool, and I'd like to stay there. So I wanted to see what it was like. Gorgeous rooms, by the way. They've all got like that white marble look. The big 2-room suite has a giant soaking bathtub.
Oh my gosh.
And
I would never want to leave.
I know.
I'll just live here.
Let's stay here. And he started talking to the DVC lady. He's like, oh, see, this is, 54 points. That's not bad. And like each point is like $100.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so we had fun doing that.
That's so fun.
Yeah, we went back. We played giant chess outside. And then he started talking about wanting to go back to the Marriott and go swimming. I kind of hadn't planned on that in the middle of the day, but I went with it. We went and rode the Skyliner for fun. We went over to the Caribbean and then back. We stopped and got water at the Joffrey's. There's a Joffrey's right there at the Skyliner station. And we were thirsty, and they gave us cups of ice water, which was really nice. So then we got a lift back to the Marriott. That was like an 11-minute ride, $10 plus tip. Now, the Marriott, you can use any of those pools. And we were in the Fairfield, but the courtyard has this really cool pool. It's this really long, large, kind of tropical feeling pool. And it's half inside, half outside.
Huh.
Yeah, so, and then there's this curtain of water, kind of like a waterfall. This curtain of water, falls down the split. So that was really cool. I actually enjoyed it. I had a really great time in there.
That is really
and
neat.
My son found a millipede crawling around one of the hot tubs. And it had a really cute face. Kind of had like a space alien face.
Mm-hmm.
He spent about half an hour watching that millipede.
Little kids crack me up. They're so funny.
I know, just it was going around and he came back. He fell in love with it. Very cute. Named it Miles. Miles the millipede.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. So then we went back, we showered and changed, and I pre-scheduled a lift to pick us up at 3 to go to Universal Studios City Walk and to go have dinner at Toothsome. That's one of our favorite places.
Mm-hmm.
So the driver came exactly at 3 o'clock, precisely at 3. It's kind of funny. He had his radio station really loud, and I actually had to ask him to turn it down, which I thought was kind of odd.
That's really strange.
Yeah, and then he kind of ended up being a little bit of a wild driver. One of those people honking at red lights and got off the highway, back on the highway. But he had good music otherwise, so I kind of forgave him. So we went to the Sapphire Hotel at Universal, and we took the boat to City Walk. The whole thing took us about 48 minutes. I thought it would take us about 45, so I really should have left an hour early instead of 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But we were only 3 minutes late to check in, and I don't even think they noticed.
Yeah.
A really, really quick wait, and our table was ready. We had a really fun dinner. So Toothsome Chocolate Factory, the story behind it, it's kind of got that steampunk feeling. And the story is that I think it's owned by a lady. I think she's a chocolate scientist or cook. Anyway, so her character is there. She's dressed up in a steampunk dress. She's really beautiful. And she has I think her assistant or one of the, he's an assistant. He's a robot, a steampunk robot. So they came around talking to us. We had a blast talking to them. They offered my son $2 an hour to come work for them. That was cute. And then the robot's like, what? That's the normal pay, right? And we had a great time there. We got my son got fettuccine Alfredo. I got a cheddar broccoli quiche. And we got the famous chocolate bread, which is delicious. Chocolate bread with this caramel butter that you put on top.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so good.
And then we got the mint shake. And then, my son lost his mask. He had a really cool face mask at Jurassic Park. It vanished somehow in there. And then he bought some steampunk goggles, those round goggles. And that was his souvenir.
Mm-hmm.
After after that, we went and we looked at the 2 Universal stores at City Walk. It was very crowded because HHN was about to start the haunted houses. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of people were coming in because it was about time for those haunted houses to start. So it was crowded, but it was okay. After shopping a little bit, we took the boat to Royal Pacific, and then we looked around. We've stayed there before, and we just wanted to go visit it, walk around and everything. I pre-ordered a Lyft to take us home. It came very quickly, so we had to rush over to the pickup area, the driveway. Got back in by 7:20. It was about $19 plus tip to go from Royal Pacific back to the Marriott Village. And then we got ready for bed. I did a little laundry because I could. It was $3.50 to wash and $3.50 to dry. And we packed up for Discovery Cove and went to bed to get a good night's sleep.
That's such a fun day. You know, one of my most favorite things to do when I visit Universal or Disney is go to the different resorts. Yes. It's so much fun.
Yes, and the food is usually very good at the resorts. I think people don't realize this, but some of the best food to be had is at the resorts.
Absolutely. Some of my most favorite meals have been at the resorts. And just walking around the resorts, anyone's welcome to go.
Yes.
It's just so fun. I love it. And I highly recommend taking some time to just relax and go enjoy it.
And they all have gift shops. Mm-hmm. So, you get that feel of being, in Disney or in Universal.
Yeah.
Without having to pay for a ticket or commit to what you're going to do that day.
Right.
Yeah.
So awesome.
I had all these thoughts, maybe we would go to Animal Kingdom, maybe we would go to Epcot, or I don't know. And then I kind of just wanted to let my son pick up, because I tend to, you boss your kids around a little bit, well, we're going here, we're going there. And, this is kind of a nice casual day to be like, what do you want to do? Do you want to go get beignets at Port Orleans or anyway?
Yeah, I think that's great.
Anyway, nice fun day. And like I said, I hadn't planned on swimming in the middle of the day. I thought maybe we would do it at night. Mm-hmm. But all of a sudden, he just kind of became like, I want to go back and go swimming. I'm like, we just got here.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And he had a great time. He was right. He had a great time. He, spent half an hour watching the millipede. And I hadn't planned that at all.
Yeah, for sure. It's the little things, right?
Yeah, the little things. And, yeah. I'm sure he still remembers it. So
yeah.
Miles the millipede.
All right, so moving on to your next day.
Hey, this was the big day, September 30th. This was our Discovery Cove day. So I had set an alarm to wake up at 6:30. Now they had kind of been clear about getting there in the morning.
Okay.
You're going to do a morning, right? So I set my alarm for 6:30. I got up. I let my son sleep till about 7. Then I woke him up. We got dressed and headed out. Now, I had pre-packed the night before. I packed him a little backpack and myself a little backpack. Change of clothes, what we needed, like our snorkeling stuff, a jacket, and a brush. I'll tell you later, but a hairbrush is important. So I pre-packed the night before because I was kind of nervous and made sure that everything was all set and ready to go. So we got dressed and headed out. I ordered a Lyft at around 7:30 a.m. He was there in about 7 minutes. 7:37 a.m. we got into the Lyft. Oh, this was a Ram pickup truck. I had never had a pickup truck as a Lyft before, so that was kind of exciting.
Interesting.
Yeah, first time. Usually they're like Kias or
like tiny cars.
Yeah. Usually this was a pickup truck. It was only $7 plus tip. 9-minute ride, pretty quick.
When was the last time you visited a Disney park? For many adults, it's been a really long time. I would love to help you fix that situation. As a travel agent specializing in Disney, my job is to make sure your vacation can go as seamless as possible. All of my services are complimentary to my clients. Yes, you heard that right. I'm free to you. These services include helping you from the start finding the perfect resort to fit your needs, handling all the bookings and reservations, helping to teach you about the parks because if it's been a while, man, have they changed. I have insider tips and tricks I share with all of my clients, and I will be your single point of contact throughout your entire trip, even while you are there. Don't wait another year to visit a Disney park or go on a Disney cruise. Let this be the year you finally go. Email me at jenny@trolleylanetravel.com to get the conversation started, or see the link in the show notes to fill out my quote form. All listeners that book a trip with me will receive a $20 gift card to use on their trip. Just make sure you say you heard this on the podcast. Okay, now back to the show.
The check-in line was long. I was kind of surprised. I wasn't expecting a long check-in, but I guess since everybody had to get there, before breakfast, yeah. Mm-hmm. So it was about a 20, 30-minute check-in line. They had about 16 desks checking people in. I was kind of surprised. They really had it churning out people. So long line, and then someone would point you to a desk, and then you'd go over there. It was a very pretty lobby with sculptures of dolphins swimming from the ceiling. Had a very tropical Caribbean feel to it, kind of like that thatched roof feel. Mm-hmm. We were done with check-in by 8:05, so it had taken us about 20, 30 minutes to check in. You have to show your ID. That might be the most important thing. You must have an ID, like a driver's license or a passport. They will take that. They're very serious about it. And they took photos of our face. I suppose just for the records or something. Mm-hmm. They gave us instructions. They gave each of us a lanyard to wear around our neck that had a card, and my card had a map of the resort.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, actually it did turn out to be really handy.
Yeah.
And then they assigned us a time and a location for our dolphin swim. So after check-in, we stopped right outside the lobby, and I took some selfies because it was very pretty, beautiful tropical view, blue water, tropical trees in the background. Because I had already decided I would not be paying for any photos, and I assumed I would not have my phone with me while swimming. So I was like, let's take some selfies right now, just to document that we're here. Mm-hmm. And that's about all the pictures I took that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, we went straight to breakfast, and they had told us to go eat breakfast. This is an all-you-can-eat resort. Food and drinks, basic drinks, are included with your ticket price.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so we went straight to the breakfast. It was a buffet-style breakfast. Kind of very similar to a hotel breakfast, but a little bit nicer. Mm-hmm. There were servers, scooping food and handing it to you. They had scrambled eggs, plain and Southwest style, potatoes. Like I said, I'm vegetarian, so I didn't really pay attention, but they did have meats, sausages, breakfast kinds of things, mm-hmm. But I didn't really pay attention to that. So I got eggs, potatoes, a yogurt parfait, very tasty French toast sticks, and the waffles were bad. They had waffles, but both of us thought they were not good, so mm-hmm. We took one bite and rejected those. They had a juice and water station, and they had a permanent coffee station. I thought that was kind of funny. The coffee was always there. Coffee with all these parents rushing over to get coffee. I went and got a kid's milk to put in my coffee over by the kids' cereal and milk. So we sat down and had a really nice, relaxed breakfast. This was funny. They had these white birds. They look like miniature storks with really long, curved beaks. Mm-hmm. Those birds that stick their beaks in the sand. They were such jerks. They were harassing people. They even jumped up in the middle of this one family and were stealing food off the plate in front of them.
Oh my gosh. So aggressive.
Yes. Sometimes you go places and the squirrels will steal food or whatever. Uh-huh. Yeah, this was the birds. They were these storks. It was kind of funny.
Oh,
and they would make these funny little grunting noises. At first you're like, oh, cool bird. And then you realize this bird is a jerk. So.
That is too much.
Yeah. So we finished breakfast, and then we went and found a locker. They had free lockers. The locker has a key with a lanyard, and you put it around your neck for the day. So we changed our clothes, and then we got ready to swim, and we put on water shoes. I highly recommend water shoes. They're like these, thin shoes that have like a protective bottom, and then water can flow in and out of the shoes. So they're kind of like a sock shoe, but they have a secure bottom. I just kind of recommend that anyway because you're going to be walking around a lot. There's a lot of sand. There's rocks. And it's kind of easier to walk around. My feet ended up never hurting. I didn't get any blisters or anything. But it just kind of protects your feet. And also then you don't have to sunscreen your feet. Which is nice.
That's smart.
So we put on our water shoes. We went and started wandering around. So Discovery Cove is separated into 3 sections. There's a freshwater oasis that's like a kind of lazy river and a little more aggressive river. But it's like this river area. They have river otters. It passes through the bird area, the aviary. And it has this really cool cave. Like you swim in the lazy river and it takes you through a cave with a cenote, which is like it's like a cave and you look up and there's a hole in the ceiling and you can see like trees. And so it's like you're underground.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It's like you look up and like that's the forest floor up above your head.
That's interesting.
So, really cool. So we went and started exploring that. And then I really wanted to go find the aviary. It's this bird area and you can feed the birds. And I had heard that they get full after the morning and then they'll stop eating out of your, they won't cut you because they're full. So that was kind of like my one thing I wanted to do that morning. But then we immediately got distracted by the river. We started swimming in the lazy river. That was really fun anyway. We tried out the life vests. They have life vests everywhere. Like the stations with life vests. They also have wetsuits and these other suits. Sometimes you have to put on this vest with like fluorescent yellow. I think that's so that they can see you and also maybe to protect your chest. So sometimes you have to be wearing something anyway, either a vest or a swimsuit or what do you call it? Kind of like a scuba suit.
Yeah.
So we tried to see the river otters, but they were still sleeping. So we kept going through the freshwater area. We got out of the water. My son got a pretzel. We wandered around some more, kept getting lost, got back in the water again. I think we went through that cave 3 times, 3 or 4 times.
So I do have a question about the river otters. So are they like in a separate place where you can see them, or are you like swimming with them?
So it's a glass wall.
Okay.
So you're swimming through the river and there's a glass wall. So like they're there, but there's a glass window in between them. Yeah.
That is so interesting. Like I'm thinking one of my kids would love that.
Oh, yes.
That's so fun.
And we did see them later in the day. So then I insisted on finding the aviary. I really wanted to go see the birds. So we set our minds to it and found it. Wasn't that hard, but when you get distracted and you end up going in circles, you do. So we went to the aviary and we saw all the birds. Oh, I don't even know how many species they had. They even had birds I had never seen before. Some really beautiful tropical birds. Birds you kind of recognize. I know they had hornbills in there. Peacocks, but then like these really crazy looking wild birds, really exotic, very excited. And we did get some birds to come land on us. They give you these little cups with bird food in them, and you put it in your hand and you like stick your arm out, and then you just hold your arm out, and if a bird is hungry, he'll come land on your hand and eat out of the cup in your hand.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yes, it's very beautiful, really sweet. I love birds. I'm a bird person, so I enjoyed it a lot. And it's a beautiful area, a very large, giant bird area with this massive net over the top. There's even a waterfall under there. There's like a bridge, and there's a macaw sitting like over there, and then there's a waterfall. He's just hanging out, enjoying life. So after the birds, we got back in the water. Oh, and because we had seen the waterfall, my son wanted to go swim through it. And I said, I don't know, that looks like a pretty strong waterfall. But anyway, we did it. We got back in the water, and we went around underneath the birds this time. And We went under the waterfall. I had to hold my glasses to my face, and I held my hat down, and I just went through it and got all wet, which I knew would happen eventually.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And it's a bit of a blur, getting in the water, going around the rivers, out of the water. And there's a lot of twists and turns so that it's very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of ins and outs, into a cave and out through another cave, or, some things kind of had like a little bit of I don't know what the right word would be, maybe like a temple or an ancient building. You'd go floating past something, be like, is that a temple? And really exciting.
Yeah.
And exotic. You felt a lot like you're in another country or like another continent. So really exciting. So it's all a bit of a blur, like what exactly we were in and out.
So I'm looking at the website, and so there's, different animal encounters you pay separate for, but the birds and like the otters, seeing them, that's all included with your to get in. Okay.
Yes. So the river otters, the aviary, the big snorkeling reef, which we'll get to, those are all included. The food, the basic drinks, ice cream, ices, the lockers, showers, towels, sunscreen, all of that's included.
That's wonderful.
It's just the extra encounters, things like doing the dolphin encounter, the sharks, trainer for a day, like those kind of more private or semi-private things. Those cost extra.
Gotcha.
But there is a basic package you can buy, which is like the basic, swimming and snorkeling and eating. That's all included.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Okay, so as we were walking along, we just stumbled upon a trainer standing there holding a kookaburra, another bird. He's a Australian bird, and he's that one that makes that famous sound. Whenever you hear sounds in a jungle, like a movie or a TV show, that's a kookaburra.
Oh, nice.
So she was standing there holding him, and I stopped in my tracks. That's a kookaburra. And so I was like, okay, we're going to watch this, because I was hoping that she would make him do the cackle, the whatever that, I don't know what the word is.
Yeah.
The monkey sound. So she taught us about him. We did some trivia. She asked us questions, and after a little bit of talking, she did this little sound, like she made this circle with her hands and put it up to her lips and kind of made this rolling R sound, and he immediately started doing it. Aww. It's this really long, like, and on and on and on, really elaborate. Loved it. I started applauding. That was so cool. By the way, we did also stumble upon a trainer with an armadillo, but we didn't really get to see him up close. And somebody had an anteater, I think an anteater. But again, that was kind of like just, you would just like come around a corner and someone would be, if I put more effort into it, I could have looked up on the schedule and seen what animals or times things are scheduled. We also did see somebody doing a marmoset feeding. But again, those we just kind of stumbled upon. So at this time, I said we have to prioritize snorkeling at the Grand Reef. So the Grand Reef is the saltwater area with this, I guess it's like a U-shaped circular swimming area. You start on a sand beach, 0 entry. You walk from the sand into the water, and deep inside the water, they have this prepared area with like rocks, kind of underwater canyons, coral, like fake coral, and all these fish. So many different species of fish. So exciting. And you can just snorkel around and you go explore the coral reefs, and there's like these giant fish, lots of rays, stingrays, manta rays. That ray that's shaped like a electric guitar. He's kind of got like that sharp look across the guitar. Oh, so amazing. Amazing to see how large some of them were. You don't really realize until you're up close. They're giant. The manta rays, I don't know what, they must have like an 8-foot, wingspan.
Wow.
I kept thinking of that. The Mr. Ray in Finding Nemo, the teacher.
Yes.
I kept hearing his little song in my head, like, Oh, let's sing songs.
That's fun.
Yeah, I did forget to mention. So before we entered the water, I have very bad vision. I have to have like eyeglasses on or prescription eyeglasses. So I happen to have prescription goggles with my eye prescription. But they kept telling me that like 2 or 3 of the staff told me, we can help out with prescription goggles. So if you have bad vision, they can help you out with that.
Oh, that's so good to know.
Yeah, of course, I've done it before, so I already had mine. I know the process of that. But yeah, they did tell me twice, we can help you if you need prescription goggles. And they do provide the snorkels. So before we went in, I did go, we went first so that I could see what the area was like before I took my glasses off. We went and looked at the sand, so I could see the path. And then we went and we got ready for snorkeling. We went to the bathroom, made sure our sunscreen was good. We got the vest with the life vest. Leo picked up a free snorkel. And then I got out my prescription goggles. I put away my eyeglasses. And then we went and headed in. Okay. So we did the Grand Reef for quite a while. We just had a blast in there. My son was amazed. Thought it was so cool. Something really sweet I hadn't expected. But you know how you get excited and you'll be like, there's a fish there. But you have that snorkel in your mouth?
Yeah.
So, or you'd be like, You could hear other people screaming like that.
That's so
and it
funny.
was so sweet. Like, I could hear children being like, Mom, I touched a stingray. I touched a stingray. And then you could hear that in other languages. Like, there were people from Brazil or, speaking Spanish. And there were families, I think, from perhaps Japan. And I could hear them screaming in other languages. And it was so sweet. I actually thought, like, this is something that you wouldn't, unless you're there experiencing it, you would never think how sweet it is to hear other families just, like, so excited, but in another language.
That's really sweet.
You hear people going, like, "Doo, doo."
Yeah, that's really
so
fun.
I loved it. I thought that was so heart-touching. Yeah. Okay, so then we did get out at one point. I kind of insisted on a break. It is salt water. So after a while, you get thirsty. So we got out and we went to one of the drink stations and got a drink. We stopped to go to the restroom. And I saw a lady looking at her phone, so I asked her what time it was. We had to be at the dolphin area at 12:55. And it was only 11:37, so we were doing well. So we went back in for another round of snorkeling. My son loved the snorkeling, so I kind of had to tell him, we got to be at the dolphin thing. Yeah. So we snorkeled some more. This time we put a little more effort into getting closer to the sharks. So they had a shark section, and that was separated by a glass wall on 2 sides. So you could go really up close and like put your hands on the glass and kind of lean in, and the sharks would pass by. That was really cool. So this time we went down and actually went and swam closer over to there. Got a good look at the sharks. There were stingrays in there as well. We also walked over a bridge. There's a bridge over the shark section where you could go and lean over and kind of look at the sharks.
That's cool.
Yeah. There was this neat stone wall kind of, I was talking about how they had things that kind of had like that temple look to them. So we went and snorkeled over there. There was more coral reefs down there. I hadn't realized. Tons more fish over there. Giant groupers. Yeah. It's also interesting that certain fish would hang out in certain areas. Like some like the deep area. Some fish would go in this more shallow area. Sometimes there'd be like a school of like 100 little silverfish that would go by. So eventually I said we have to get out because we have to go eat something and drink some water before our dolphin appointment. So I eventually had to drag him out. Drag him out because he loved it so much. And he's like, oh, can we come back? I'm like, I don't know. So I dragged him out. we went and took off our vests, kind of cleaned up a little bit. I had to put my snorkel away and get my eyeglasses back out. Went to the restroom, put on more sunscreen and chapstick. And I insisted on our hats for the dolphin thing because I knew we'd be standing outside.
Mm-hmm.
So we put on our hats and sunglasses. And then we went and got a snack of pizza and some ices and some more water. And then we went at 12:50 for our appointment. So our appointment for the dolphins was at 12:55. We went about 5 minutes early. They had told us specifically which cabana to go check in.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Seahorse Cabana. And they assigned us to a table. And they assigned us to a group, and they told us what chairs to sit in. We were assigned to Group A. So there were maybe 4 groups in our little cabana. There was Group A, B, C, D, and each group, I think, had 8 people. And this was for the 12:55 time slot. Right? So the dolphin section is in the middle of Discovery Cove. It's this giant, very cold, massive pool just for the dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge, like a lake.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is the water really cold?
Yes.
Yeah.
In your head, you're thinking Atlantic bottlenose dolphin. And you get it, and you're like, oh, this is cold.
Yeah.
The Atlantic Ocean, right? So we went into our little cabana, and they assigned us seats, and we watched a little short video. And then the keepers came in, and they gave us a quick little lecture about what we were going to do and the rules. Now, they have very strict rules.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame them. They have to take care of the dolphins.
Yeah.
But they have very strict rules. So I think we had to wear a yellow vest, which we were already wearing because we had been snorkeling. No jewelry, only your wedding band, like a flat wedding band or a very tight wedding set. So no jewelry, no earrings. If you have piercings, they're going to ask you about your piercings. So be prepared. They're going to ask you in front of other people, like, are those secure? And the reason is because if your jewelry falls off, the dolphins will put it in their mouth.
Yeah,
and that's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Yeah. Any hat or sunglasses, they have to stay where they are. I think people would take off their stuff for the pictures, and then it would float away. So if you're going to wear a hat is staying on. If you're going to wear sunglasses, your pictures are going to have sunglasses. So you have to decide if you want your hat and sunglasses or not. You have to make that decision before you get in the water. No Crocs. I guess they've had problems with Crocs floating away.
Oh my gosh.
So you cannot wear Crocs. But you can keep we had water shoes, you can keep those on. Because they wrap around the back of your ankle and they're nice and tight. And do not touch the blowhole of the dolphin because it's a very sensitive area. So they kept saying that over and over again. Do not reach out until after the blowhole has passed by you. So then they took us out in our groups. The water was very cold. You get in, you're like, but you eventually got used to it. It was all right. Plus, when you get excited, you forgot about the cold water. It was a very large lake area, and there were lots of dolphins in the back, towards the back of the lake. They were swimming around with their, the trainer was watching them.
Mm-hmm.
So they sent us to our little area. All the different groups went to different areas. We were the first group, so we kind of went to the front and left. They gave us some more instructions, like do not touch the blowhole, stay where we tell you to stand. You're going to be following directions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had 2 instructors, or dolphin trainers, and a photographer for each group. So there was only 8 of us, and there were 2 instructors, kind of one to take care of the dolphin, one to take care of us.
Yeah.
And then they sent the dolphin over to us. So Clipper came over. It was interesting. You couldn't see the dolphin at all, and then all of a sudden, boop, she popped her head up. She was right there and smiled at the trainer.
Oh, that's cute.
So sweet. So one instructor had a bucket of fish and ice cubes and this weird gel. I don't know what it was. I guess dolphins like ice cubes. They don't really taste, but they like the feel of the ice cubes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And then they had their fish, of course, their fish treats. So first, they had the dolphin pass by us, and we could reach out and pet her back and get a feel for her. And then after that, each family group, I think it was me and my son, and then 2 families of 3. So each group got to go close, and we could like pet her with 2 hands. They taught us some scientific facts. They told us about her personal history. She's a mom of 4.
Aww.
Yeah. And then some physical details about the dolphin. And then we each got to have an individual swim with the dolphin. So they took us like a little further away, and then the dolphin came up to us. We could put one hand on her flipper and one hand on her like pectoral, no, not pectoral, the back fin, the fin on the back. Yeah. And then she pulled us across,
fun.
and you kind of got to go high speed with her pulling. Yeah.
That's cool.
Then we each got to have a one-on-one time with her. We got to kind of hug her. We kind of pretended to kiss. You know, you put your hands out, and she would put her nose and jaw in your hands, and you kind of lean forward, and she pretended to kiss. And then the photographer would take pictures of you while you were doing this. And she swam by us again. And then this was really beautiful. Towards the end, they said, okay, we're going to do like a little jump for you, right? So we could see her jump. And it coincided with 2 of the other groups. Their dolphins were ready to do a jump. So Clipper went and joined 2 dolphins, and they went and did this very dramatic, like, it's like a showing off for us. They went and did a big triple jump. The 3 dolphins together would jump and jump and jump, and just everyone was like, wow.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It was very amazing. Just to be in the water up close, to have them jump, just, so impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And then she came back, and towards the end, she would do waves, and we waved to her, and she would, like, wave her fin. It was just so impressive how confident these dolphins were. They're very strong, muscular, impressive. I felt so humbled and starstruck. You know, I felt like a little kid. I just, like, I reach out and touch you.
Yeah, for sure.
I learned a lot that I think I never would have learned if I hadn't done this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're up close, seeing the dolphin up close and touching her, questions come up in your mind. They encouraged us to ask questions. Like, I asked, what kind of sounds do they make with their mouth? And they said they don't speak at all. Any sound you hear, like that famous, you know, click, 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 or that little chirp, all of that comes from the blowhole. I always assumed it came from the mouth.
Yeah,
the mouth is only for swallowing. That's it. So none of those sounds are speaking. I always thought that they were speaking.
Yeah, I thought it was like their tongue.
Totally, I did.
Oh, that's so interesting.
I saw these little lines on the back of her tail where the base of the spine meets the tail. Mm-hmm. And I said, what are those lines? I thought they were injuries. And she said, no, that's a knuckle. You know how we have knuckles on our hand? That's a dolphin knuckle.
Oh
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I asked a question like, how long are they pregnant for? I think it was 13 months. I think I said she had four children. So that was our dolphin experience.
That sounds amazing.
Very amazing. Mm-hmm. Absolutely worth the price. I originally hadn't planned to do the dolphin. I just wanted to snorkel. But the sale that I had looked at, the cheaper tickets had sold out pretty quickly. So then I started looking, well, maybe I could pay for the dolphin and not see the dolphin. And it ended up being just like $30 more to meet the dolphin. So I went ahead and booked it, and my son was like, I don't know if I want to get in the water with the dolphin. By the end, he loved it.
Yeah.
That is so cute. Like, I want to take one home.
I can see where, especially a kid, even an adult, might be a little apprehensive about it just because you never know. But it sounds like it's very well executed and like under control.
Oh, yeah. They are professionals, those trainers. You can tell they've done this a lot. You know, they could, like I said about the Crocs, you could tell they're like, we've had Crocs float away. I know what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Okay, so after the dolphin encounter, we walked out of the water and went straight back to that freshwater oasis. We just headed right. They were taking pictures of some families, but like I said, I had decided I wasn't going to pay for pictures, so we just went straight to the freshwater thing. Got back in the that cave area again. This time we went by the sea otter, the river otters, and they were awake, being very cute, rolling around. So we got a good look at the river otters this time. We floated by the marmoset. The little marmoset island with the little marmosets out doing a little show. Not a show. The keeper was out there talking about them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we got a snack. They had a little station with like pretzels and warm chocolate chip cookies and more drinks, like a drink station. So we stopped there for a little bit, and I think we put some more sunscreen after that. By the way, they have these sunscreen stations. Like hand sanitizer dispensers.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, but sunscreen, and it's animal safe and coral safe sunscreen. So they have that everywhere. Like they have towels. And then I think we got back into that river again, that lazy river. And then I said, okay, we need to eat lunch because lunch, we paid for it. We need to eat some lunch before the lunch station closes at 3:30. And I think around this time it was maybe 2. So we went over to the lunch area, back to that cafeteria. And I got the veggie wrap and a side of quinoa salad and some French fries. My son ordered the French fries, but nothing else for vegetarians looked appetizing to him.
Mm-hmm.
Even the mac and cheese didn't look very good. So I said, well, you could go back to the pizza place. So he got fries, and then he dropped it off, and he went back to the pizza place. He was gone for kind of a while. I got my food and went sat down. I was eating my fries waiting for him. He eventually came back carrying a bunch of pizza and ice cream. He said he had asked them if they had just a simple cheese pizza, because the pizza was actually margarita pizza. It was margarita and I think barbecue chicken pizza. It was like that long board, kind of a long oval-shaped pizza.
Yeah,
very
flatbread.
Yeah, it was very delicious, very good. And he had asked if they had plain. He said, no, but do you want us to make you one? He said,
that's
yes, please.
nice.
So they made him plain cheese pizza. It was delicious. He was very happy about that. So he came back, and I went to get his drinks. While I was gone, a bird came and stole my fries.
Oh, no. Some aggressive birds. Yeah.
So I was like, gross. Fortunately, I had eaten a bunch of them already. And he still had some fries, too. I was like, I knew that was going to happen. So we ate our lunch, and we were just kind of hanging out. Started to get tired, which I was not surprised. I expected that. So after lunch, we decided we were kind of done. So we went and showered. So the showers are very nice. They have these large rooms, bathroom areas, lots and lots of showers. Each shower had shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. And it was actually pretty nice. I was worried my hair was going to be bad, but it was very good shampoo and conditioner. My hair came out nicely. They had towels. They had hooks to hang up your backpack in the shower area so it didn't have to get wet. Sand everywhere, by the way. Mm-hmm. Sand all over. Because we all tracked it in on our feet, so there was sand, like a lot of sand. That's just how it is. But they also had plastic bags. You could get a plastic bag that said Discovery Cove to put your wet stuff in. So, yeah, very nice. You could, they planned ahead for you. So we showered, got cleaned up. I brushed my hair out. I had heard to bring a good brush, and I was glad I did. I brought a wet brush with me, and I needed it. My hair was wild.
Mm-hmm.
But there were not any hair dryers. I kind of looked around to see if there was a hair dryer, but no. Oh, wow. So then we got our stuff out of the locker. We headed out. We got distracted by the snack station again on our way out. So my son decided to make an orange Fanta and vanilla ice cream float, which was a good idea. It was good. It was on a float. We got some more snacks and kind of hung out in the snack area. And we headed out around 4:15. It took a little while for the lift to come. It took us about 10 minutes for it to show up to the front door. It was about $11 plus tip. And we went back to the hotel. So, let me give a few thoughts I had.
Yeah, just your overall thoughts of Discovery Cove.
Okay, so I jotted down some thoughts after our half day at Discovery Cove.
Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful. If you're into plants, especially like exotic plants, it was full of thousands of tropical trees, plants. Some plants I hadn't seen before. I had to look up what they were. Plants and flowers. They had animal sounds in there, which is really exciting. It made you feel like you were in another place.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like you feel like you traveled for the day, like you went to another country or continent for the day. Lots more animal species than I expected. There were some I had never seen before, especially birds. A lot of birds I'd never seen before. We saw a ton of birds. They had flamingos, but we did not make it over there. I guess in the morning they have a flamingo parade when the flamingos walk down the sidewalk. Funny. But I think we were in the water at that time.
Mm-hmm.
We saw an armadillo, anteater, marmosets, tons of fish, lots of different rays, sharks, dolphins, and river otters. I recommend bringing water shoes, a sun shirt. I had a long sleeve sun shirt, and I was glad I did. We did not get burned at all. Not a single sunburn, which was great. I wore water shorts. They're from Colombia. They're those kind of like shorts. You could either wear them on land or you can wear them and get wet. And I was happy with that. I took a floppy hat and sunglasses, and that worked well. Definitely bring a wet brush. Your hair is going to be a mess. Not just wet.
Oh, yeah.
Water, salt water, sun. Putting the mask on and off your face, the goggle.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you put that goggle up or back down, your hair gets all screwed up. And a ponytail. If you have long hair, you're going to want a ponytail. I recommend bringing a full change of dry clothes in like a Ziploc bag. Your stuff in your locker is not going to get terribly wet, but there's a lot of sand. You've got water in your hands, sunscreen, there's sand all over the ground. Also, I would kind of say, don't plan on really touching your phone because your hands are going to be damp.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really want to I looked at my phone like once or twice in the locker, but I didn't really want to. So I said, just tell your family, you know what, I'm swimming today. Don't bother. Don't bother. One of my sons tried to call me because he found a black widow at Grandma's house, and he's like texting me. I'm like, later on, I texted him, "Did you survive?" I said, "The black widow came." He's like, "Yeah, it was okay."
Oh my gosh!
But you're gonna probably have your phone in your locker all day long, or you can do one of those water pouches. But I didn't want to deal with that. But I know some people do. And they sell them there, too, for like $28. But
so you actually, you can have your phone with you if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, in a water pouch, obviously.
Right.
But there's water and sand everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be a messy day. A fun day. And I already had prescription goggles and a snorkel for myself. Oh, and I have already that anti-fog gel, because, your goggles will fog up. I already had that, so I brought it with me, and we put that on our goggles, and it helped a lot. And like I said, they can help you if you need prescription goggles. Yeah. The time flew by. 8 hours just went by in a flash. I wouldn't schedule more than one activity. The dolphin thing was great, but it did mean I kind of had to keep a mental track of time. I did have to ask a stranger what time it was because I saw her with her phone. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't schedule more than one. Or you can have fun not even scheduling an activity. Just the snorkeling alone in the freshwater river. That alone is enough. All the snacks and drinks were fun. They had icy machines that had like pineapple, mango, and pina colada ices.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You could just walk up and get an icy snack. They had like Cheez-Its, bags of peanuts, although not many people seemed excited by that. They had plantain chips, bags of chips that were plantain, so that was, different, fun to see. Mm-hmm. And of course, you could go back to the cafeteria and get what you wanted. except for the transition between breakfast and lunch. They were closed for like half an hour. The coffee station was still there when we went at like 2:30. The same time the birds stole my French fries. The coffee station was still there. I was like, hey, that's still open.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was very family friendly. They had high chairs for the kids in the cafeteria area. They have these strollers that have those giant fat wheels for the sand. So you could borrow a stroller that will make it through the sand. They had sand wheelchairs. So just like the stroller, these wheelchairs that had those fat wheels to go through the sand. They had lots of different life jackets. They had life jackets for the little children, like little toddler size. So that was nice. You pretty much have to, if they plan on wearing something in the water, if not a life vest, then at least put on a one of those yellow vests. And I think that's so that they can see you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Probably my last question, I don't think I've asked this yet. Was the water in the freshwater area cold?
Not terribly cold. Of the three, it was the warmest. Not warm, because after being in the Dolphin Atlantic Ocean water, and we went straight to the fresh water. It was like a bath. Yeah, so the coldest water was the Dolphin water, obviously, because it's Atlantic. The Grand Reef was kind of cold, but not that bad. And I forgot about it very quickly, especially in the Grand Reef. And you're swimming around, so
you're moving.
You're moving. You're excited. So that's not too bad. But yes, the freshwater river was not very, very bad, especially coming straight from the dolphin water to the freshwater. This is all nice and warm now. I never felt, except for when we first got in the dolphin water, I never felt very cold. Like I wasn't shivering or anything like that. I never felt like we were going to get sick or something. Especially since when you're in the dolphin area, it's kind of only up to your waist. And then at one point you do have to sink your body down a little to hug the dolphin, about to like shoulder height. But that's just for a little bit. And by then you're kind of acclimated too.
And so what was the weather outside like while y'all were there?
Oh, we were very fortunate. When our flight landed, we landed in rain. And then the rain kind of went away. We were very lucky. Our 2 days, our free day, the weather was pretty nice. And then our dolphin day, we did not get any rain. It got a little cloudy, which was kind of nice because then we didn't have the strong sun beating down on us. So we were very lucky. I think it was about 84, 86. I think the humidity was around like 70% or something.
That's nice.
I was actually very happy. I was kind of nervous to go in September. I swore I would never do like June, July, August, September. I was like, I'll never go in those places. I think we were a little lucky. I think it could have been a lot hotter.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised it was that cool. And then I guess just my last question is, if you could do was there anything else that you would do if you went there that you didn't get an opportunity to do?
I did not see the flamingos. And I was a little interested in feeding the sharks. But my son was like, no, that's dangerous.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so I think feeding the sharks would be fun. Oh, he was interested in, I was kind of surprised. They have this thing, I think it's called Sea Venture. It's these giant, like, helmets that you put on your head and shoulders. And then they pump the oxygen in and you walk on the bottom of the water. Like, you walk on the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
I was surprised. He said he wanted to do it. Like, it looks scary to me. But yeah, he was interested in that. So maybe next time.
That's awesome. Well, that is very cool. This was very fascinating to me. Now I want to go.
Oh, yeah. I would recommend it. It feels like you're somewhere else for the day.
Yeah.
And I thought the same thing. Have you been to Volcano Bay at Universal?
No.
It has a similar feeling. Like you feel like you've gone to another country.
Yeah.
And had like a tropical vacation in a Caribbean island or a South Pacific island. But it's so easy.
Yes.
it wasn't terribly stressful. I was a little nervous. I have very bad vision, so I've always kind of had a difficulty swimming, even as a child. So I was very nervous going in. This was my third or fourth time snorkeling. But I was happy I did it,
That's great. So what did y'all do for the rest of the day once you got done with Discovery Cove?
Yeah, so we went back to the hotel, and we just relaxed for 2 hours, and I did more laundry. I was so happy to do laundry. Our stuff was gross. We needed to do laundry. Yeah, like salt water. And, yeah.
You don't want to take that home.
Yeah, so I did laundry, and we relaxed for 2 hours, just hanging out in the room. And then I was kind of insistent on going to Disney Springs. So about 7 o'clock, we got a lift to Disney Springs. It was a 10-minute ride, about $7 plus tip. This was cute. So Leo spoke Spanish with our driver. She kind of asked if we spoke Spanish, and we started talking. She asked what we were doing. So I was trying to say in Spanish that we got to touch and meet a dolphin. And so Leo was able to translate better than I could. And she was so impressed. So they had fun. They had fun talking a little bit. She liked that he was learning Spanish. And so we went and looked around at the co-op and D-Tech because we wanted to get some magic bands. Then we went and ate dinner at Earl's Sandwich, which I really like. They have this delicious warm caprese sandwich there and a frozen lemonade, and my son got a grilled cheese. And then he started complaining about being tired. I should have known. I had a feeling we were going to be tired, which is why I did not schedule any dinner reservations. I had a feeling we were going to be tired.
That's smart. So
we went and got a magic band at the Pin Trader and went to the Star Wars store. Oh, so I bought my son one of those brand new Magic Band Pluses. And so, he opened it up and put it on. We went to the Star Wars store. Immediately it popped off. And I had heard about this. Oh, within minutes, it was on the ground. He's like, oh, no. Picked it up right away. I was like, dang it, these things do pop off. So I think we're going to have to put something on there to hold them down.
Yeah, you can buy, there's like a little thing you can buy on Amazon, and it slides on, and it'll kind of clip around it to keep it on. So if it unpops, it'll still stay on your wrist.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to. He even commented that his old Magic Band felt more rubbery, and these feel more plasticky.
They're very stiff.
Yeah, I think it's that stiffness that's the problem. Anyway.
My kids lose one every time we go.
Yeah.
Every time.
The rumor and gossip about them popping off is true. So just be aware of that. Took about 3 minutes, I think, for it to pop up. So after the Star Wars store, we went back and got another Magic Band for my husband because I had texted him a photo of one. And then my son started saying he was tired. I was like, let's head out. So, okay. So we went back to the ride share, and it started sprinkling by then. We had a little difficulty getting a lift. It took a wait. I think it might have been post-fireworks time. This was around 9 o'clock, perhaps. So it took a little while, maybe about 20 minutes or something. We got picked up around 9, another $10 ride, 10 minutes back to the hotel, and we went back and got ready for bed.
What a fun day.
Yeah. Okay, so then our last day, so this was October 1st, our going home day. We slept in a little. I let my son sleep till about 8 a.m. We got up, got dressed, and we packed up my day pack and headed down to breakfast. And we weren't terribly hungry for some reason, so we just ate a little bit, like eggs, cheese, a biscuit, a little bit of coffee. And then we started discussing what we wanted to do since we only had a few hours. And so, like, what do you most want to do? And he wanted to go back to Riviera to get pastries to take home. And I was like, okay. So we kind of ride over to Riviera in a Lyft. It was 10 minutes, $10 plus tip. We bought a bunch of pastries to bring home, and I got a coffee, and he got a croissant. And then we started thinking about what to do. He wanted to try bocce. He saw bocce out on the lawn, and he kept calling it French pool, and I'm like, no, that's like Italian bowling. So we thought about trying the bocce, but then it started to rain a little bit. And we weren't sure about doing the Skyliner if it was going to rain. So, what if it stops? I don't want to get stuck on that. Even though I love the Skyliner, I don't want to get stuck on it right now.
Mm-hmm.
So then he said, what about that place that's like the tiki with the Dole Whip? And I said, Polynesian. And yes. How about we go to that? So he said, okay, let's do it. So we got a lift over to the Polynesian. That was a 12-minute ride from the Riviera to the Polynesian, and it was about $11 plus tip. Oh, something scary did happen at the Riviera. So we ordered a lift, and we were standing there waiting for it to come. We saw a child run into the driveway of where the cars pull up to drop people off. And that was kind of terrifying. It was a little toddler. For some reason, took off running from its mom and just ran straight into the driveway just as the car was coming. Oh, it was so close. I started screaming, like, stop, stop. And fortunately, the car did stop. I don't know if she saw it or what, but that was kind of terrifying. I don't know really what happened there, but
that is scary.
Even if it's Disney, kids can still get hit by cars.
Yes, that's so scary. I
know the other workers, the staff who stand there by the cars, opening doors. They saw it. One of them had like his head over his heart. Yeah. We're all like, oh, almost saw a child get in my car.
Gosh.
Yeah, that was terrifying. But the mom did catch it. The mom caught the child eventually. But that was pretty terrifying. He got really deep into the driveway before she caught him. Anyway, so the lift came. It was a 12-minute ride over to the Polynesian. So we went in, we shopped at the gift shop there, and then we went to go get Dole Whip. And then after Dole Whip, we went back into the gift shop because my son decided he really liked those ceramic drink things that they have inside the Polynesian, like the tiki look. And we ended up buying this hilarious thing, this giant, like, ceramic tiki Dole Whip holder.
Uh-huh.
It's like a bowl, and it has these little tiki feet, and it has a tiki spoon, and a Dole Whip, like, ceramic topping. It's ridiculous. And I was like, how am I going to get that home? It's like this big ceramic. I'm going to go on an airplane.
Yeah.
But he wanted it, and I was like, that might break, right? I think it's kind of like it. It's like, I'll risk it. I mean, he was really into it. So we bought it. We were talking to the lady. She like double wrapped it with this cushioning, double bagged it.
That's nice.
It made it home. It did not break. It's in the kitchen right now. It's hilarious. I understand now why he wanted it. Too cute. And then just for fun, we took the monorail over to the Grand Floridian and looked around. And then we decided it was time to go back and pack up. So we got a lift, which took a while. The driver got lost. He got lost trying to get into the Polynesian, and then afterwards he got lost over by Epcot.
Oh,
so that ended up taking 28 minutes to the ride from Polynesian.
No. He must be new to the area.
I don't know.
Because most of those Lyft drivers, they know exactly where to go.
Yeah. I had another driver once get lost over by Epcot. There's something about it. I think there's a turn that they accidentally take.
Maybe so.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was $19 and 28 minutes.
Wow.
That was a long ride just to go from the Grand Floridian to the Marriott.
Yeah.
So we got back, we cleaned up and packed up our suitcases. I ordered a Lyft at 1:15. She picked us up very quickly, just a few minutes. It started raining. By the time we got to the airport, it was very rainy. I put on my raincoat and still got a little wet just getting out of the car. That was a 24-minute ride and $28 plus tip. We got to the airport and we got pizza to eat for lunch. And we sat there watching the trivia that they have on these screens in the eating area and ate our pizza. And then we got on our flight.
How were the crowds at the airport?
It was busy. It was a Sunday afternoon. Mm-hmm. It felt very busy, but it was okay. I have TSA clear and pre-check, and even that was a bit of a wait. So I noticed the lines looked pretty long.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's a Sunday in Orlando.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that airport is always busy. On the weekends, it's pretty insane.
Yeah. Okay, and that's it.
That sounds so fun. I loved learning all about Discovery Cove. Like, I feel like I was in school. I'm like, I want to take notes. I loved it. I'm gonna listen back when I edit it and take notes because you gave so much great information.
Well, I have my 5 pages of notes.
I mean, yeah, that was fantastic. But I have a couple more things. So I asked everyone on the show, what was your least magical moment of your trip?
Okay, actually, it wasn't even in Orlando, but flying home, all of our batteries died. My phone started running out of juice. My son's tablet died about an hour into the flight.
Yikes.
And my backup battery was empty.
Oh, no.
I suspect that I took a bad cable. I try to be prepared, having lots of cables, and they just, they walk away.
Oh, yeah.
They disappear, the cables, and I think I just chose the wrong cable to take on the trip. And I thought my backup battery was charging in the hotel, and I think it wasn't. And I thought it was charging this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it said it was blinking like, hey, I'm dying. And I was like, oh, my battery's charging. So that was pretty bad because that also meant when we got off the airplane and I needed to start communicating with my husband to pick us up, my phone was dead. And it was dead. I even, over by where we went to pick up our suitcase, I plugged it into the wall,
mm-hmm.
and it was like 0%. And I could tell he was trying to text me and he was trying to call me, and my phone would be like, husband's trying to call, but I'm out of battery. And so that got pretty stressful. Fortunately, he's picked us up before, and so I went to where he's picked us up in the past, and he went to where he's picked me up in the past. But if I had maybe my son pick me up, he wouldn't have known where to get me.
Yeah, that's not good.
That was pretty scary, and I learned my lesson. I got to make sure I have the right cable. I guess I could have tried harder.
Well, it's also when you're on vacation, you're just like, plug it in and forget about it. So
yeah, and I thought my son was charging his tablet, and I thought my phone was charging properly, and it wasn't. So, it all adds up at the wrong time.
For sure.
Yeah.
What was your most magical moment?
Oh, okay, so I've been thinking about this. I have a political answer. I have what I want to say, and I have the truth.
Yes.
Okay. So what I want to say is when the dolphins did the triple jump in the water at the end of the encounter, it was so magical. It was almost slow motion. They would jump in the air and wink.
Uh-huh.
I'm so magical. I'm so beautiful. Everyone's like, ooh, wow. That's what I want to say.
Uh-huh.
The truth, my most magical moment, was when I found out we were next door to the laundry room.
There you go.
That's how I roll.
Hey, if you're allowed to have your most magical moment, it can be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be perfect for other people.
Yeah, just being next to the laundry, I was so excited. It was closer than my laundry at home. It's like next door. Yeah.
It's just what makes life easier, right?
Yeah.
Well, Mercedes, is there anything else you want to say about your trip before we get off?
Oh, just, traveling one-on-one. Every now and then, if you can, take a trip with just one kid. It's just such good memories, and I feel very relaxed when it's just one person. And, your kids can tell that you're relaxed, and it's quality time, and no arguing with other siblings or parents or anything like that. Just so nice. And I really appreciate being able to have special memories with my son. And he'll be like, next time, if we don't, I hear him say little things I say. My son is this son is very, very sweet. He tells me he loves me all the time. And it's just very nice to have those memorable things together.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I think one-on-one trips are so important.
Yes.
Because our kids, they're going to be gone before we know it.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I have a 21-year-old that just graduated from college.
Oh, my goodness.
I can't believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, my oldest is a senior, so I'm kind of like, that went by fast.
I've got another senior. Yeah. I have a 21-year-old that just graduated from college.
Oh, my goodness.
I have a high school senior, now an 11-year-old. So.
Yeah, so you definitely know. It flies by.
It flies by in a flash. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. This was such a fun show, and if you ever travel back to somewhere fun, I'd love to have you back on.
Yeah, great. Thank you. It's been a blast. I appreciate the taking notes, too. I think it helped me remember little details I might have forgotten. So.
Thank you for listening today. I really appreciate you spending your time over here with us, and I hope this was just what you needed to hear today. I'm always looking for new guests for the podcast, so if you are traveling to any Disney park or cruise, see the show notes for more information about being on the show. Visit the show all around the web at DisneyTravelTales.com or find us on Instagram and Facebook at Disney Travel Tales. See pictures from the guests on their vacations, plus this is just a great way to stay up to date with all things related to the podcast and Disney travel in general. Join me next week with a brand new episode. So until then, this is Jenny, and may all your Disney travel dreams become a reality. Hi, this is Jenny, just popping on with some exciting news. I've started a Facebook group just for you. I'm really excited about this because not only will this be a great opportunity to get to know each other, but this is also a safe space to talk all things Disney. Members can share travel tips, resort tips, likes and dislikes, and the best part is this will give you an opportunity to talk to the guest on the show and ask them questions about their trips. I was trying to think of a fun name for us, and Disney Travel Tales Podcast Clubhouse came to mind. This is a private group, and of course, I will not allow anyone to be bullied or talked down to. I just want this space to be positive and fun. Check the show notes for a link to join, or just search Disney Travel Tales Podcast Clubhouse in Facebook. I can't wait to see you over there.